and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, may be seated. And your roll call, please.
Oakley.
Here.
Martin. Here. Tony. Here. Holt.
Here.
Bass.
Here. We have 5 members present this evening, with Alderman Grady currently absent. Motion to approve this evening's agenda. Motion by Holt, second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you, council. Right into citizens' participation. Is there anyone here this evening who would like to come forward and speak for any citizens' participation? Yes, ma'am. Come on up.
Hi, again. I'm here with the Cuba Community Garden.
Okay.
Have we ever decided where we're getting the water for the garden?
I don't know that we had any really available way of getting it to you without doing too much.
If I have to run a hose across the street, I have no problem with that. I have 150 plants in my driveway.
Okay.
If I don't have a way to get them in the ground and get water.
Right. There was never any agreement made with the city of Cuba to provide you water. I know
Right.
we were going to see if we could. I don't
Right.
have any more on that or not. I don't know that.
What's that in there?
The water for the garden behind the old Fleming building. I know it was mentioned to us before if we're going to be able to provide them water. It hasn't gotten back to me if we're going to be able to even do that or not. I don't know.
Last I heard, there's no water up there, it had to be, streets that have to be cut over. And
Right.
From somewhere.
Well, I mean, if we could put a meter in on the side of the street where it's at, I am more than willing to pay for the water for our usage. And like I said, I run a hose across the street. I have 300-foot hose that goes out to 150 foot
Right.
each.
Across, what is that, Teresa Street?
No, it's Albert Street.
Albert, yeah, I don't know if that would be of any concern having a hose running across the street, but pedestrian traffic or vehicle traffic or bike traffic. Would be something that the police might want to interject on, if we should have that or not.
Did you talk to Glenn Shockey one day last week?
Yes, and I talked to him on Monday too.
Okay.
He
And
said
was
he would
he-
get back to me with a dollar amount, and I also talked to the clerk, and it was a $50 fee to start the water. But he was supposed to get back to me with an amount to get a meter put.
Okay. Okay, so, but during that conversation, he didn't make it seem like it was something that he could not do?
No, he was gonna get back with me with a number, and I have not heard back with him yet. And I've been running for the last 2 days, and finally got all my running done, so tomorrow is all phone calls.
Okay. Okay.
He didn't give you a meter that you could hook into for the time being?
No,
Does Glenn have your contact information as
Yes,
far as
he
you
does.
know? Okay, we'll make sure he reaches out to you to give you
Okay.
some sort of final answer on what can be done.
okay, yeah, because I'm waiting on a guy to till it, and then I need to start planning.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll make sure Glenn reaches out to you one way or another with some sort of answer for you.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate
Not
it.
a problem.
That way I can start telling people
Reach
that
out to him.
come over.
We'll see what he says. All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else here this evening for citizens' participation? Hearing none. Go ahead and approve some meeting minutes. Motion for the approval of regular meeting minutes of May 2nd, 2023. Motion by Mouse. Second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Minutes approved. Motion for the approval of the executive session meeting minutes of May 2nd, 2023. Motion by Mouse. Second by Holt. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Minutes approved. Special meeting minutes of May 4th, 2023. Motion to approve. Motion by Martin. Second by Tony. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Minutes approved. Special meeting executive session minutes of May 4th, 2023. Motion to approve. Motion by Tony. Second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Minutes approved. And finally, the special meeting minutes of May 10th, 2023. Motion by Holt. Second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Minutes approved. All righty. on to the bi-weekly treasurer's report as well as bills to be paid. Are there any questions about the bills to be paid within the packet that you have received? If there are none, is there a motion to pay the bills?
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Again, I see all these numbers for bills to be paid, but I never see a balance of what department, general fund, electric, stuff like that. We're just passing bills here that I have no idea we have money in the budget. I don't see no, like, bank statement saying I got so much money in the general fund, I'll use the next $1 million, so I have that in there. All I've got is these papers saying, I'm gonna pay these bills.
So we have quarterly budget revisions and transfers, so we'll be provided with that. And then also we have recently discussed, as you're well aware, that once our new comptroller gets up to speed and has the opportunity, we'll probably start seeing those more periodically.
Because, I always found my checking account every time I do something, I know where I'm at.
Well, and as part of the treasurer's report that you see here, that we are voting to approve, and I know during some of the recent meetings and some of the minutes that we just approved, 3 minutes ago, that there has been discussion about having more frequent treasurer's reports, where that information is more real time.
All right.
I think it's something we can look forward to seeing. With that being said, is there a motion to pay the bills? Motion by Bouse, second by Honey. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you, council. Surplus bid. We have a single bid here for the 1990 Ford F800 dump truck. Reserve price was set at $4,000. Let's see what we have. We have one bid from Medlock Properties LLC for the amount of $6,500. Motion to accept by Jeff Bouse, second by Dave Loney. All in favor say aye. Opposed? All right, bid is accepted and awarded to Medlock LLC. Here you go. And Parks and Recreation Committee recommendations, Kevin or Dave, you guys have anything to present for Parks and Rec?
Well, we had a meeting over there last night, I'm sure Kevin led to this. But there are some things that still need to be done. It's only Glenn here tonight. We still got a lot of caulking to do. We don't have a working urinal at all in the boys' bathroom yet. Glenn has ordered parts 4 times and they've all come in wrong, so I don't know what we're doing there.
So those are supposed to be here tomorrow, they told me today.
Yeah.
The parts for the pool, the restaurants.
Yeah, we've got those parts 3 times before,
Yep.
and they've always been wrong, so.
Jared says they're supposed to be here tomorrow.
The signs, the new regulation signs have been donated by Versatag, so we're not gonna have any expense on that. We found out last night the AED is missing. I had a police report written up on it in case we could use insurance, but I went out and talked to North Carolina County Ambulance Division today. Is Amy here?
She's on her way.
She's on her way? She'll probably want to talk about this in new business as well.
Okay.
That's fine.
But talking to North Crawford County Ambulance District, they have 2 old AEDs that are uncertified and the batteries are dead. So he's gonna get the service company to come out and look at them, get them certified, and then put new batteries in them. And they will donate those to us, one to the police department, one to us at the pool, if we pay for the batteries. All right? She also has a grant that she's writing right now, that she's talking about putting 2 in there, new ones for the police department and the pool, so. You
Well,
know,
that will certainly be a huge help to get us by in the meantime.
yeah, but they're 10 months out for the new ones, so it's gonna be a lot of game in there. What else was it? Someone has donated AED. Tony, you got anything? Gary?
Not this time, there's lots of stuff we want to plan for next year.
We've still got some caulking to do, we've still got some repairs to do. There's a list of mile long of things that they're trying to get done.
Right.
Once the rain stops, we can get back on it.
Hopefully the plumbing parts will be correct, and they can get that one wrapped up, caulking is, there as we can.
The other part is, at a meeting that Hood Park today with the president of the fair board and Joe Voss and some city employees and Archer England engineer. We decided basically it's going to be too hard to put these sites all the way back to the fence. It's going to take too much fill to get them in there. So we're going to move everything to the right about 20 feet. And we're probably not going to be able to get the new ones done this year because it's going to take 100, if we say 100 truckloads of gravel.
100 was at least that, yes.
Yeah. 100 truckloads of gravel just to get it covered. And what we're going to do instead is, you want to go in there?
Move the bases that we were gonna line the back fence or along the back, move over to the fence line that would be to the north of the goat barn.
Where the generators used to
Where that generator lot that was cleared, that will allow Andy to get going on that and still, I think the plan is to still proceed with leveling that lot, making it look nice and fair. Hopefully still gravel it, whether the fair board or whoever, whatever we gotta do to come up with the gravel to cover that lot. I mean, I think we would like to see it gravel, but whatever we have to do to do that. But at least make that look nice and fair, get the new ones put in up front, proceed with the back line along with that, and then next year or phase 2, whenever we go to phase 2, we'll have, that'll be ready and we can put, and that will also give that dirt time to settle and give that, all that time. Because it's just kind of the crunch time, he needs to bury wire and kind of get all that done. It just, everyone kind of was in agreement, hey, let's just put them all over there, let's get kind of going on that. He can get his work done, and we think we can kind of still everything get done for this year's fair. Get this kind of cleaned up, making it look good for the fair. What has been done, I don't think it's a waste by any means. Certainly a step in the right direction, and we'll get that done. The front sites will still be done, right? We can get that done. Use the grade that's there, kind of taper that off, but don't go any farther back. Don't clear any more than what's really already been done. Maybe a few more, but not much more. And don't really, because that really starts to drop off. You get much more back to that fence. And all it's going to do is cost all of us more money if we try to fill that back in. And there's really enough room to do what we all need to accomplish with what's already cleared. I think we kind of all agree on that. So
What was already clear is not a waste because that's what part of my letter.
yeah,
Through there, to get over there, so it had to be done by law.
yeah.
And are you working on the parking plan, the permit plan? Okay.
So Scott Boltman that's been donating his time to Archer Elgin after we met today, he's gonna renumber everything. So the number that's on the plat from the original big drawing will be the numbers we use for parking spots. Then attach whoever's parking tags that we hand out will go along with that, so we know who's where, and hopefully we got a couple weeks in until first of the month.
Sure.
So to get that lined up. So I actually already have a sheet of what we need to ask, so we already started on our Google Doc for that.
Okay. Things are happening. It's getting accomplished.
So thank you all very much for your all.
Right back at you.
Well,
It's definitely been a group effort.
Yeah, pulling this all together. So thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much. You good, Andy? You got everything you need on that?
I got all clear up, I just needed like you said, since that is, give time to settle, that it'd be better just go on the north side of the back.
Fair enough. We're good?
Well,
Okay. Do we have a cost on those batteries for AEDs?
not yet, but Amy was coming in, she was gonna bring that, hopefully. Sean Carl is a consultant out there, he was gonna get all that information, give it to her, she's gonna try to make a meeting.
Okay, we'll catch up with her if she doesn't make it.
Yeah.
Very good. Anything else, Jeff?
All right now.
All right, so no motions to be made there at this point in time. Again, on behalf of the council, the city of Cuba, the park board, everybody involved, thank you to First Tags for the signed donation. That's a huge help and very, very much appreciated. All right, Water Sewer Department. First item we have here is the letter of resignation, formal resignation letter from Mr. Ben Weber, who is our current pre-treatment superintendent. It's been a while since we had a meeting, but his 2-week notice started on May 4th and will conclude on May 18th, which is Friday. But Ben is seeking another position outside the city of Cuba. Says that he is not leaving the current position in the city with any type of negative circumstance, he's just pursuing another opportunity outside of the city. That being said, is there a motion to accept the resignation of Mr. Ben Weber? Motion by Baus. Second by me. All in favor say aye. Opposed? And we of course thank Ben for not only his services as pre-treatment supervisor, but his services as police officer of the city as well. That being said, I believe there was a committee meeting to discuss the vacancy and any posting recommendations or what have you. Is there a committee recommendation to be had from the pre-treatment?
We do have a recommendation, water sewer.
Okay.
We'd like to post it in-house 2 weeks and see if anybody signs. We're not gonna go in the paper right now, we want to post it in-house.
Okay, so recommendation is post for the pre-treatment supervisor position internally for 2 weeks.
I have a question
Yes,
about
ma'am.
that. Are we posting that as a full-time position?
I would assume so, because it would be posted under the current job description that's been approved, along with the tiers and everything else that it falls under, unless there's recommendations for any changes to that. I would assume his recommendation would.
Personally, I'm of the understanding that it really does not warrant a full-time employee. And until our budget is fixed and we're all in line, I'd like to see us use the 2 people we have qualified to collect water samples right now, just to get us through maybe the next 6 weeks or whatever it takes till July 1st. Then we can decide what we want to do from then. I can't see paying a full-time employee for a part-time job.
So that's certainly been brought up in the past. Now, I know Dave's here, and I know, and I was going to tell you right now, I don't have an answer, right, from a legal standpoint of things. I have been told that the EPA says we have to have somebody in this position as considered a quote-unquote full-time employee. Now, if they're doing other duties on their spare time, much like Ben was, then that's fine, that's allowed, but as long as you have somebody that is dedicated to full-time pre-treatment, then that meets that EPA standard. I've also heard the opposite of that. That no, that's not true. So I really don't know.
It would be good us to find out.
Right, and Dave, I know you had some information you wanted to at least hand to the council this evening.
Did you guys want me to?
Yeah, did you guys just hand out?
Yeah, just so you guys can make a fully informed decision of, you know, and get all the facts and everything squared away.
And Lance, before I get too carried away here, Kevin does have a recommendation. Should we entertain a second before we go to further discussion, or?
You should have a second. You should have a second.
Okay, so Jeff does give a second for the 2-week internal posting to Kevin's motion, opening up to discussion.
So what you have here is, it's a letter kind of describing the situation and how the pre-treatment coordinator position came to be. And also as attachments there, you have the first attachment is the original EPA audit, where they came in and said, you guys aren't fulfilling the duties that are outlined in your pre-treatment program. You're failing to meet all the standards. So they recommended, among 7 or 8 different things, the first one being hire more personnel, get them qualified, and let them help run the program. And then, so it was my recommendation, if you read the letter there, that that's why it came to be. That's why I think it still needs to be that way. There's not been anything from the EPA to say otherwise. I mean, the Missouri Department of Natural Resources do come down. They come down every year and do an audit, or at least every couple of calendar years. It's usually every year. And the EPA has often sat in on those, but there hasn't been an actual formal another audit since that one that you have there. And when I called that individual who performed that audit, he said he's not made any changes or anything, even though it has been 12 years. It was 2011 when the audit took place. But the council at the time, I mean, as soon as that audit came down, they jumped at the opportunity. They said, hey, we want to get in compliance. We want to stay in compliance and basically get off their radar. And in November 2011 is when they brought overall deal from the grass department to pretreatment and created a pretreatment coordinator position. And I worked on it for 3.5 years, fighting tooth and nail with some of the factories to eventually get people lined out. And then the next pretreatment coordinator took over, and he worked 7, almost 8 years on it, and things were going good, things were going great. And I'm of the opinion, I'm a maintenance guy, it's not broke, don't fix it. If things are running good, things are running smooth, we're off their radar, no news is good news when it comes to this, in my opinion. So it's my professional opinion and my personal opinion that we should just leave it alone as a full-time position. And then if that position has any extra time, sure, go ahead and help out another department, because really that's kind of what we all do anyway. You know, if the electric guys need help, we all can go help the gas department, go help out the electric department. You know, if you got time, you can send a guy or two, you can make things happen. So I don't see a big deal about if, you know, if he has, which I don't think with everything coming down the pipe from the federal standpoint, things are about to get even more tough. So I don't see the point in messing with it right now, and I think we should just leave this in.
So, and then to Debbie's point, I'm sure you do understand where she's coming from.
I do.
Right? Because, and not to have a history lesson on the previous pre-treatment employees or their duties or what they established or didn't establish or whatever, but as we were approached as the board, and we were said, hey, you know, I'm getting all this stuff done and I got all this spare time, right? What do you think? You know what I mean? For right or wrong or indifferent, that's what we listen to as stewards of the city's money, right? And then that puts questions in our mind. Do we need to look at this further? Is this a full-time job? Is it not a full-time job? Is it legally needed to have somebody as a full-time position like what you're alluding to? Does it not? So we just want to make sure we fully understand and we're spending this money towards a salary properly. And perhaps the answer to that is doing like we had done. Somebody is in that full-time, and then if there's any spare time, yeah, jump in a dump truck, use your CDL, go do whatever, work on water lines, sewer lines, whatever it might be, go paint a building, who knows? Or can it be actually a part-time type position? And that's where I'm at, and I really haven't had too much of a clear answer, even though I fully understand where you're coming from in your recommendation. Absolutely.
In the committee meeting, I made the point that in St. Clair, Nick Williams is the treatment plant operator. I verified that. He does both positions.
Okay.
And he said that state doesn't tell them that they can't do that. He said that's just always been my job. And my point was, I don't care how you do it. But this survey here, inspection was done in 2011. We haven't been inspected since. So the city is already running short, no public works director. We have no building maintenance person. And we're told that the budget is so tight that we can't afford to hire. My whole point is, if it can be done as one job, and we can bring that salary up to hire someone to fill some of these positions, that's where I would like to see, based on the EPA coming and saying you guys are at a clean bill of health, you're okay to do this. But I think we do need to get the EPA to give us their blessing.
Okay.
I have talked to Steve Black, who, first of all, this, like they pointed out, this thing's 11 years old.
Right.
And there must have been some problems there. But according to Steve, there were a whole lot more industries at that time that were an issue. And at that time, I think he at one time was doing both of those jobs. So I still believe that we need to have it verified currently before we jump in and pay somebody full-time.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Again, our recommendation is post the job, let's get this position filled, during the budget, whatever, we go, we combine the job, can't, we just got to get this position filled at this time, that's our recommendation.
Well, there is a motion and a second, so we'll take it to a vote for posting internally. unless you guys are wanting to withdraw your motions, or you want to keep your motions on the table.
We have to have somebody in that position. So it works.
I just like keeping it out right now. I don't think we need to go out to bid, out in paper.
Well, I mean, yeah, but having it posted internally would mean somebody could sign it and take that role as a full-time supervisor paid role. And would also remove them from another department if it's an internal candidate, so that would create another vacancy.
We're gonna have to have Randy to train.
I spoke with Randy, and Randy said, you know, we understand that somebody's gonna have to do this job, and that he would be willing to help train. Absolutely.
Well, I think that's a motion, I'm gonna need Randy.
Well, yeah, I mean, whenever you can,
There's a
yeah.
lot of role change out here, actually, it's pretty dry right now, we're right in the middle.
Yeah,
Well, between the two of you, surely you can get somebody trained.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't let this program fall apart.
Yeah.
I mean, there's two consequential. So whatever needs to be done, we need to figure it out. We need to table it, and find out further if it should be combined or not combined, or full-time or part-time, that's fine. Obviously, there's a motion and a second on the floor to vote to post it internally. We can see how that vote goes.
Yes, sir. Let me say something else.
Yes.
Nick Williams also told me that you can outsource that. You can hire a firm to do that.
Okay.
And so that might be something you might want to look into too.
Well, so do we want to post it internally? Again, we can see where the vote goes, or motions can be withdrawn, that's up to the folks that made the motions. I mean, somebody's gotta be doing this, and, you know, I think Randy will help in the meantime.
It's gonna take a while to go through the posting motion anyways.
Let me also add that St. Clair is different than Cuba. Every town is different. There was, I believe, 9 industries back in 2011 when I did 9 factories basically that were on the pre-treatment program, and I think we're sitting at, I believe Randy told me the other day, at 8. So I mean, there's not, I don't know how many users St. Clair has. I don't think it's that. I don't think they have it. I think it's 2 or 3, and you know, so their pre-treatment is a little different than ours, and their industrial flow is a little bit less than ours. So if something happens in St. Clair and a factory discharges, you know, let's say something below pH of 4, their flow is less from those factories, so it's not going to affect the treatment plant as bad. Here, a good portion of our flow comes from our industrial park, which is a great thing to have. We're blessed to have an industrial park, because that also leads to some pollution from any pollutant that might come from our residences, which is what the DNR and EPA is getting ready to come down the pipe with more massive regulations from. It's called PFAS, and it's basically your non-stick cookware, pizza boxes, your clothing, stain-resistant clothing, all that stuff. They say it can get in drinking water, it can get in your wastewater. They're getting ready to come out with massive regulations for it, so we're going to have somebody that's prepared for it. And I'm not prepared for it. I don't do everything, and you know, but I am aware. I do attend water and sewer conferences every year that you guys send me to. It's coming, and it's going to be a big deal. And like I said, St. Clair is different from Cuba. One little thing in St. Clair, they're probably not going to get hurt. We've got some factories over here. While one of them has cut back significantly in their water usage and we start reclaiming some of their water, if they discharge one thing, it can make the treatment plant just go completely haywire. And then we're discharging poop water into the creek, and then the DNR gets involved, and it's a whole big thing. So it's of my opinion, we should just, things we're going to do, we just need to do it. Really. St. Clair is not the same as Cuba. It's comparing apples and oranges, I'm sorry.
I don't know the difference between St. Clair and Cuba. I just know that they're not the only town that the treatment plant coordinator does both jobs. But we need to check into it. I think that the EPA needs to come and give us an inspection and tell us themselves whether we have to keep it full-time or we take it.
All I know is the city has spent way too much time and money to step back for decades. The citizens have paid too much money. We upgraded the treatment plant, spent $2 or $3 million when we upgraded it because of our industrial flow and everything, which has to be regulated. You just let it go now, and you let this fall apart because we want to save a couple $1,000s on a salary. You're talking, I mean, like I said, that was several $1 million out there that the taxpayers are still paying on. I'm sure
Well, and the plan would be to have somebody doing
Right,
it.
so we
We
need to
just
have
don't know if
somebody-
it's gonna be
We need to have somebody doing
full-time or
it.
part-time.
We need to have
Or
somebody
combined.
doing it proper. That's the key word there is proper. And if they're tied down to doing other stuff other than pre-treatment, that could affect that pre-treatment job, which affects the treatment plant, which affects the environment and everything else. So if you can say it or word it, however you gotta do, where whoever he or she is responsible for the pre-treatment first and foremost, get everything done there, that's your baby, that's your responsibility. If you get done, if you are caught up, cool, go help out somebody else, because like I said, that's what we all do anyway, so that's not that much of a change.
Faust, you keep your motions for the seconded Goblin's
Yeah,
motion.
we gotta have somebody in the position until we get our own.
So motion and second was to post internally for 2 weeks, roll call please.
Yes.
Yes.
Holt,
Would you guys please go back and post it?
Knight,
Yes.
Martin, no. Copeland,
Was your motion, Jeff, again?
It was your motion.
It was your motion.
Okay, so the motion moves 4 votes to 1, to go ahead and post that internally. Now, the caveat I will add to that is, again, I think it's to all of our due diligence to continue this conversation, make sure that it does or does not, at the EPA's request, because to me, they're the final authority. They're the people that we want to always be in good standing with. If we can have a combined pre-treatment treatment, or if we cannot. If they need to keep it full-time, like Dave was saying, and then if they have time for extracurricular duties, then wonderful, we can allow that like we did with Ben. We need to find out one way or another. Now, it's gonna be posted for 2 weeks, there's gonna be possibly somebody internally sign it, we don't know. That's gonna go to committee, there's gonna have to be recommendations to hire, and ultimately the board doesn't have to vote to hire. It depends on how the vote goes. If there's more information learned, that might give us reason to not hire, so we simply don't hire. But it will be posted for 2 weeks, so I guess that will start tomorrow. And lead until the 31st.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
when Dave was doing operations and stuff like that, pre-treatment, we had 2 factories that's giving us trouble. I don't believe one's here anymore, one's cut way down in the water.
They've got that.
So that is a big thing we were looking at as well, you know.
My main thing is what is the best thing for us to do to get along with EPA, the DNR, and the agencies that are in charge of this stuff, because I think it's important for us to keep them very happy and play by their rules. Let's find out exactly what those rules are. All right, so that's where we're at. It'll be posted, and we'll see where that takes us. Looks like there are some bids for some sanitary sewer collection system, CCEV inspection bids. This is ARPA money. The money is there. Jennifer found that, took care of that for us. It's part of the ARPA funds that we received for our sewer project. The focus on this area, and Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, this is out towards the treatment plant. Some of the trunk lines that are actually going into the treatment plant and out from there. We're noticing during heavy rains with a lot of inflow and infiltration that the flow rates are going up very, very quick. So that tells us the water is coming in very, very close to the treatment plant. So this bid for inspection is to check some of those main lines within close proximity to the treatment plant. Archer Elgin helped us prepare these bids. What you have here are 2 bids, one of which is from Ace Pipe Cleaning for an estimated price of $20,900. There was also a proposal received from David Mason and Associates for the amount of $20,000, so $900 less than Ace Pipe. However, if you read the cover letter from Archer of Elgin, even though it's up to us, council, they do have a recommendation, and it says, based upon review of the 2 proposals, we recommend that the city proceed with a proposal received from Ace Pipe Cleaning. While their proposal's total price is higher, it also includes cleaning of the piping and an additional 300 feet of pipe cleaning and inspection. So yes, that bid is $900 higher, but looks like there's a little bit more work included, so that is the recommendation from Archer Elgin. But what is the motion by the council on accepting the bid?
Make a motion to accept Archer Elgin's recommendation price.
Okay, motion by Martin to accept the recommendation of Ace Pipe Cleaning for $20,900. Is there a second? Second by Boss. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Very good. I know that's a pretty important project for us to get completed, so thank you, council. I believe there's another bid behind that for confined space equipment, some PPE that was budgeted for on this fiscal year. Go ahead and get this product ordered. Why we're able to on this current budget. Various pieces here, harnesses and laser kits and winches and all kinds of fun stuff. Safety devices, PPE for some of the confined spaces that these guys work in. Bid is from United Rentals. Does not look like there's a secondary bid. I think that some of this stuff is pretty industry specific. That's probably why we were only able to come up with one bid. That bid is for $10,815. Motion to accept the $10,815 bid by United Rentals by Tony. Is there a second? Second by Mark. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you, council. Rodney, yes sir, go ahead.
Can we circle back to Amy?
Yes, please.
Amy, are you?
Yes, sir.
Talk about AEDs. I presented what I thought was the truth after our phone call. Would you like to talk about AEDs?
I didn't recognize you, I apologize.
Yeah.
So we had a call last week that, involved the city police department, and they were there to intervene and act as first responders prior to us arriving, for a fugitive cardiac arrest. The result of that was there was no AED available for the use of the police officers until my ambulance got there and I was responding for Bergman, so it was, like an 8-minute response time that they were there doing CPR prior to us getting there. So after that call, one of the officers reached out to me in the ER and asked that I, help them learn how to go about getting AEDs or the ambulance district provided any. At this time, we don't do that, but we are able to help guide and jurisdict some grants and different things in order to try and help the department get them. The issue that I have since found is that there are 14 patrol cars and there are not 14 available AEDs for a grant. So I'm not exactly sure what the solution is, but I feel like it's something that needs attention to the department as well as the ambulance district and our other first responders. There are AEDs available at the fire department, but they were not seen yet. The officers were there first, so they were, you know, the primary people there, and they just didn't have the equipment needed that could have truly made a difference in the patient's outcome.
Definitely. How much are they? Just ground. Yes, ma'am.
We at the co-op just purchased one ambulance or fire department. It was $1,530
Okay.
for one.
So.
And that's full sets of pass, and that was, like Dave said, that was from back in February last year. We just got it in March.
Right, it's a long wait on them.
So I'm sure the price is probably done.
So there are several different vendors that we can get them from. The one that we primarily use is the one the fire department has, is through Gold, and they are on a 10-month waiting list right now for production. But I also got some numbers for some other manufacturers that I don't know if there's a wait time on them or not. I haven't. I was meeting something, so I'm kind of time to cut that project off, but there are other options available. I did speak with our sole representative as well. We just ordered new cardiac monitors in the ambulance district, so I asked them if there was something we could do as far as pricing. If we bought like a larger amount, if they could do this kind of pricing, and then see if we can do some type of invoice with the department. I don't know how that all works. I'm just reaching for solutions, and someone pointed me in the direction of Jennifer, so she was speaking with me yesterday and offered me some paperwork for the grants ready as well. And then one of our paramedics that works for us helped with getting the fire department the AEDs that they receive. I just know that there's not an option to get 12 as of right now, so. And I don't know what the plan, ultimately would be with how many you provide, but
So it was mentioned that you might have like 2 older decommissioned AEDs that need updated batteries and various things
Yes,
that
sir.
maybe we could try to get from you guys.
yes, sir.
Obviously purchasing what needs to be purchased, just so that way maybe we could have one at the pool and one in at least a police car, and so we can get the proper amount ordered and delivered, which is gonna take some time.
Right, yeah, absolutely. So there are 2 there. They don't turn on right now. I was looking at them before we came here, but then we ran out of time and they needed to come here. So I did not make a phone call to find out if the production, like if the batteries and the pads are still produced in order to utilize those. But I am going to, they're sitting in my office.
Okay. If you could relay that information to us, that would be outstanding. So that would, I mean, we gotta get our hands on one for the pool, right, one way or another. So, I don't know how that's gonna happen, but maybe that's gonna be our best resource right now. Try to get these things up and running and the batteries that they need, at least until we can get new. So if you think that's an option, please let one of us know. Contact City Hall or Dave or whomever. And we would be more than willing to figure out what we need to do on our end to make that happen.
For the 2 old ones, or
Yeah.
for the 2 old ones as well as figuring out.
Well, we're gonna budget for buying new ones,
Okay.
but just as a stopgap, if we could try to get these 2 older ones in operation, because we know it's gonna probably take us 10 months to get new ones.
Through Zoll, yes.
Right.
The other manufacturers.
Yeah, or if you know anybody any quicker, then I don't know. We need to find out, but
Andy just asked me too, like, all of our trucks, our mining trucks, they all have them.
sure.
It's
We don't
just-
have any.
Right.
Yeah, it's,
That's why I mentioned it yesterday, if you're gonna be working on your budget, this is definitely something
Now's the time.
to do, yeah.
I was surprised to learn how many businesses in the city don't have AEDs.
Right.
It's kind of mind-blowing, actually.
Yeah, I think it's probably something that, I mean, as we sit here having this conversation, I hate that the city hasn't thought about this before.
I mean, to be fair. it's
Till it
not
comes
something
up and then
that-
all of a sudden, oh, now what?
Yeah.
And the pool used to have one, it's just, it walked away, or something. So if you could look at those older ones and if there's anything we can do to get them up and running so we can use them, we would love to do that.
Oh, no, I would love to do that.
And then as we prepare our budgets, I think we need to budget as a city, the police department, and other utilities that are necessary to carry them. I think we need to budget
I think it's
for these and getting these things ordered and finding access to them.
If I remember right, I think it was all
Yeah.
line trucks I had.
So we need to take care of that, but if you can help us with a stopgap, please let us know.
Should you want me to send, the information for the ones I have as well as if I can find any manufacturers that
That
are
would be great.
on a whole list?
Yes, that would be great.
Would I send that to you?
You can send it to Laney at City Hall, and we'll get it where it needs to go. Yes, thank you for
No,
that.
no, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Roddy, do you have any AEDs in your office?
I do not,
Okay.
but I know how to operate them, so I was trained years ago. I think Laney wanted me to bring up, we're having a camera issue at 6 locations. The Roots Water Tower project, Bluebit took off all the internet communications off of that tower. So we lost 6 locations, so we cannot remote into them remotely. So they're still recording, but we can't look at them. So I contacted Zach, which is it's horrible trying to get this thing fixed. And I had tried with multiple emails. I finally tried to finally get them going to getting this in. It was supposed to get to it today, and I have not heard nothing back.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get the antennas at the location swapped out, that way we can get all signals from Bluebit's services.
Well, you'll be preparing your budget soon too, so you know
Yes.
some of the things that you might need to consider as you do that.
Yes, and I got everything ready for that, but I just want to let you guys know that it's been looking at, and at the pool, I'm trying to get the pool situation fixed for you. I contacted him about it. They don't have any internet at that location because of the problem. I'm trying to get that where they can have internet.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Anything for Rodney? Doug, feeling for us?
I'll keep this much shorter. I don't have anything on the nuisance. I tried to get the camera in your background. So I don't have anything on the nuisance. I don't have anything with the police department either, but I do have with animal control. We did have more of it. We've got a copy of the resignation from her. She's one of the newest part-timers.
Yes. So we do have a copy of the resignation letter. Just wanted to reach out to me and let me know as well. Morgan Witt, simply writing a letter to inform us that she'll be resigning for her position. Believe she has another, again, kind of like Ben, just another opportunity outside the city that she's going to pursue. So we certainly wish her the best. I know she was an asset to your team 8 years ago, but we can't hold people back from going to the next level. So is there a motion to accept Ms. Witt's resignation? Motion by Martin, second by Tony. All in favor, say aye. Opposed. And with that being said, I'm sure there's a recommendation.
Recommendation is to go ahead and get something advertising for another part-time position.
Okay. And she was 20 hours a week?
About 28, 1,500.
1,500 hour employee. Okay. So go ahead and write a ad internally and externally, 2 weeks posting for the part-time 1,500 hour animal control. Motion by Tony, second by Hope. All in favor say aye.
So is it 2 weeks from today? Because I put the deadline. Somebody help me with that.
We
won't
need
get
to
the
have.
paper until next
So
Thursday.
yes, you're on the paper as well.
Right. So it would run, if it hits the newspaper on the 31st, the paper opens on excuse me, on the 25th. I mean, we can post it now, and it would only be in the paper for 1 week if you think that's enough. If you'd rather have it be publicated for 2 weeks in the paper,
I don't know if it has to be, I would love to post it tonight on Facebook because last time when we posted in the paper, I got 2 applications.
I think the ordinance says it has to be posted 2 weeks.
2 weeks, but I don't know that it has to be in the paper for 2 weeks.
That's what I'm asking, if I can just post it like tomorrow morning and then deadline the June 1st or the 31st?
Thanks. I don't remember. So the next meeting is going to be, the next meeting is going to be June the 6th anyway for hiring, right?
Right.
So,
Hopefully.
yeah,
June 1st?
June 6th.
I know it, can I make the deadline for applications June 1st?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said the paper comes out on the 1st, so can you do it on Friday, the 2nd? Oh, sure. You know, if somebody
Yeah,
doesn't-
somebody might see it that day, and 3 o'clock is sort of preferred on Fridays.
I mean, that'll only.
It'll be in the paper for 2 weeks at that point, plus social media and anywhere else you want to post it.
Okay, that'll only give me 2 days to interview, but.
So, motion to go ahead and post for the position internally and externally. We'll run it in the free press next week and the week after, and then for the position to close at 3 p.m. on Friday, June 2nd.
Okay.
Is that
Thank you.
okay with you? Motion by Honey, second by Holt. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you, council.
That's all I have.
Okay, consider those AEDs, we build your budget to just.
Do what?
Say, consider budgeting for those AEDs.
Well, I will, maybe too.
While we're going to start that process soon. Anything for Doug?
I know it's raining, but ask Cameron to keep an eye on the grass, maybe a lot.
Yeah, we're waiting for it to stop raining so then it'll finish growing.
Me too.
Yes, that is true. Thank you, sir. All right, we have one bill this evening. Is this bill ready for reading? This is in regard to the use of motorized alternative vehicles on city streets.
Yes, but I'm gonna present an amendment to have it first reading.
Fair enough. Okay, so motion for the first reading of bill number 2092. Motion by Martin. Second by Ballas. All in favor say aye. First reading, please, sir.
An ordinance amending chapter 23, article 1 of the Cuba City Code by adding section 23-35 relating to operation and use of motorized alternative vehicles on city roadways and sidewalks.
Okay, you've heard the first reading? Go ahead and heard the first reading or allow for the amendment?
I think there's a motion to amend.
I make a motion.
Okay, What is it that you would like to amend?
Well, some things we talked about, when we talked about it before, that didn't quite make it. So, under number 3, operations, second page, under Bravo, number 4, delete that entire line.
Sentence.
The proof of installation of a revolving amber light attached to the vehicle and reflective triangle on the vehicle. Leave as number 4, the reflective triangle displayed on the rear of the vehicle to take off the amber light. Okay? And on the next page, H, B, I, delete that in its entirety. So red or orange safety flag, and
Okay.
all that other stuff we decided to make safety flag on.
Right.
So that's my motion.
Okay.
What was the first one?
First one was on the second page, 3 operations, going down to B. Number 4, just taking out proof of installation of revolving amber light. And
So
then
you
you
want
got
to keep the reflective triangle?
we are keeping reflective triangle, yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Okay, motion to accept the amendment.
Okay, motion by Bouse to accept the reading and minutes. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Second. We poll the council then, Lance?
So wait, we have a motion to amend. So are you seconding it, or are you motion to approve it?
I don't know, I made a motion to accept it.
So we heard it, we heard the proposed amendment, right? Do we need a motion for to accept?
First, you gotta vote on the amendments. You have a motion to amend, you have a second from Jeff. Now you have to take a vote to accept or reject the amendment.
Okay, motion by Honey to include those amendments, seconded by Mouse. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Good?
Now, as amended,
As amended,
you vote to approve the ordinance.
as amended. Okay, motion by Bouse,
Second.
second by Honey, poll the council, please. Yeah. I was the new one on all of this, so.
Bothling, Martin, Tony,
Yes.
Holtz, Bass.
Now, for the second reading, is there a motion to hear the second reading as amended?
Motion.
Okay, motion by Morton, second by Bouse for the second reading as amended. All yours, sir.
An ordinance amending chapter 23, article 1 of the Cuba City Code by adding the section 23-35 relating to operation and use of motorized alternative vehicles on city roadways and sidewalks.
Okay. So everybody was in favor of the motion for the second reading. Now that you've heard the second reading as amended, is there a motion to approve? Motion by Bouse, second by Honey, poll the council.
Bass.
Yes.
Holtz, Tony, Martin, yes, Bothling.
All right, so second reading bill number 2092 moves as amended. It is now general ordinance 1222. With
When will be a law where they can provide their stickers?
that was going to be my next question as well. So now that we actually do have an ordinance adopted, that includes the verbiage of the cost and the requirements. Do you guys have stickers, or do you guys need to order stickers? Do you have stickers? Do you know the answer to that?
There should be some stickers for the side-by-side fence here at City Hall. I think we have up to 2024 or 25.
Okay, so there are stickers available, and there is a new ordinance in place that we can actually act on.
Copies of that new ordinance will be available
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Because I gotta get a copy of it, right? You get a copy of it when you do the sticker,
They get a copy of yours, right?
Okay,
be available tomorrow.
thank you, council, thank you. Attorney. Oh, yeah, I can.
Same time as we have to sign it tonight.
It'll be available soon. How about that? All right, hold unfinished new business, Mr. Copeland.
Cody,
Yes.
I got something.
Okay.
I talked to Jennifer today about, 'cause I got a meeting Monday, and I got a meeting Tuesday, and I got a meeting Wednesday, and I got a meeting Thursday, and I got a meeting Friday, and I got a meeting Saturday, and I got a meeting Sunday. They've been helping out in Park Board though. I got a couple pretty sheets, which one go, and a door. Can we do that, Jennifer?
I believe that we can. I think that we looked in there was either 3,000, I think what we agreed to when they funded stuff to me.
So new lifeguard stands?
Lifeguard sheets, yeah.
Okay. And on their current fiscal year budget, you feel that the money is in there for them to do so?
It's gonna be tight, but yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and pay for 3 sheets and the door.
Okay, so a motion by Sullivan, Baker, new chairs and a door, approximately $3,000 in cost, is this correct?
That's what they told me.
Okay. Is there a second to that? Second by Mouse. Further discussion on that? Said, is there any further discussion on
I talked to Jerry, and this door is the one we're replacing. And he said on the other ones that aren't bad, he's gonna put, like a kick panel on it. And so the $3,000 should cover the cost of the seats.
Should be $1,500 for 3 of the seats.
For 3 seats, and then the door, and then repair on the other, so it should cover.
Okay, very good. Money's there, then that's the main thing. So all in favor say aye on that one. Any opposition to that? Hearing none. Well, Park Board's here, so we can work on that. I'm just gonna be in charge of ordering that. You want to order those out of your office, or what would be best for you guys?
The chairs are the chairs the ones that you sent me, Tony?
Correct.
I have them, and I mean, if I get my hands on, I have them.
Okay.
Door, I don't know anything about that.
Jerry will handle that.
I can order chairs.
Get her taken care of then. Very good. What else you got? Yeah, Ms. Martin?
Well, it also knows somebody has his chairs too.
So should I check with them before I order them?
Might want to double check with Lynn, because
Okay.
Amazon only had 2 available, and that was last week.
Okay, alright, I'll check with them before.
Thank you.
Yes, tomorrow, you can probably expect to get some paperwork from, Travis at the airport. He has 2 submissions for the fuel tank. One for Mid-State Petroleum, one for Showy Petroleum. He's recommending that we go with Mid-State because it is a little less expensive, and also go with smaller tanks, which are approximately $8,500. Their proposals have a 60-day, paperwork says 30, but he checked and has a 60-day limit on it. So this is something that we will need to look at and probably make a decision on actually in June.
Okay.
But not really until the budget is in place for the following year, and probably looking at November or so before they're available to us.
This is pretty critical, as we know, and there's a lot of what ifs with this.
Right.
So what I think, and thank you because you've been keeping up with this and presenting it very well. Whenever they are ready, and I think that the best thing would be you and the folks from the airport schedule a meeting time with Jennifer to look at the budget together and make sure this is in there and everything's kosher. Because we don't want to miss the boat on this. Timelines are definitely of the essence. And then we're dealing with fuel and tanks and things that really have to be watched carefully. So I would coordinate some of those budgeting conversations with Jennifer and set up whatever meetings necessary around everybody's schedules. Just make sure all our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted on it.
For budgeting purposes too, this is just that we're still on the hook for some training, operation, and rental, and that sort of thing, but you'll get those numbers.
Very good.
That's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I don't know if we need a committee meeting on this for the gas department, but we need to buy a meter from the municipal products. They're converting one of their diesel fire operations to natural gas. The meter's $3,500, but we think it's gonna be recouped within 3 months.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know whether we need a committee meeting or not, or whether we can just vote to buy this meter. I didn't get a chance to talk to.
That's new to me.
Yeah, well, he just caught me on the way over here,
Who, what, yeah?
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy Campbell did? So this is coming from Jimmy?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's probably got the money in the budget.
Well, he does, we just have to approve spending it or not. I'm not gonna recommend anyway, because I don't know if we need a committee meeting in order to bring that.
Right.
It's first time.
Well, I mean, he called you right before the meeting. I don't know how critical it is, but
Well, they're kind of in a hurry, they want to get it done, they want to get rid of the diesel costs.
do we know if this is something he would have to order, I guess? It might be take some time to get it here.
Not much, he thinks he knows what it is, I think he said it's about $35.
I mean, yeah, I mean, again, I always resort to the powers that be with the finances on something like this. And I don't know, obviously, this is the first you've heard it, so you've had no time to look at the budget,
I have
right?
no idea.
So we could maybe think about this.
I have it in my notes,
Thanks,
so.
Davis. Give me your thoughts. If there's a motion made and seconded and acted upon and voted upon to allow Jimmy to go ahead and order this necessary meter, as long as, once you have the opportunity to give the yes or the no, right? So that way you can take a couple days
Yeah.
and we'll have Jimmy come up and talk to you to see exactly what it is and what's going on. If you see that it's in there and it's something you're okay with, we can allow it. If not, we'll wait. So maybe we can go ahead and approve that scenario now tonight. I don't think that would be a problem with plans. We can wait for him to come back, but,
I make a motion contingent on the approval of the comptroller, that we, go ahead and provide this meeting.
okay. So motion by Tony, have Jimmy get with our comptroller, have this conversation, see if the funds are available, and if so, go ahead and act on the purchase of that meter. Is there a second to that motion?
Yeah, I like that.
And I know we've done similar things before. Motion is holds. Mr. Attorney,
Yes, sir.
we have a motion and a second on the floor
Okay.
to allow our natural gas supervisors to meet with our comptroller to discuss the purchase of the meter.
Okay.
Since that conversation hasn't happened yet, we would like to have, the motion is to, if she says yes, go ahead, allow them to yes, go ahead. If she says no, can't find the money right now, then no. But the motion is to allow Jimmy to come and talk to her, to potentially produce or purchase that meter if she gives the go-ahead from the financial side of things. We do that? I think we've done similar motions like that before.
We made a motion to purchase the meter
Usually
contingent.
when we do something like that, we limit if money's available or something along those lines.
Contingent on the comptroller saying, yes, we can do this.
I don't think you can delegate it to your comptroller, but I think you can delegate it to the question of whether or not you have
Money available.
money available.
Contingent on the budget.
Contingent on budget.
Yes.
Instead of saying Jennifer's decision, we'll say the budget's decision. And that's what you already did because you know. All right, thank you. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Very good.
I think it's 14.
What you got for us?
Maybe we can get it, but.
Okay. First,
No,
if,
okay. First I want to say that, when I was at the pool today, I hadn't been over there since we got over there. And the pool in that shape.
Lot of work.
Inside the building, and, budget time coming up, the cabinets replaced, a whole bunch of stuff needs to be replaced.
floors.
Floors, yes. I don't know, if you work some budget for them, I don't know if that's the plan,
So what the park board will do is they'll create the budget for the pool and any needed, like a floor and the countertops and all that kind of fun stuff. And then just like anything else, we'll look at what their projected revenues are with their tax, and then we'll be able to balance their budget, with the necessary projects that they want to complete, absolutely.
so make sure you guys get.
Yeah, I think they've been having some pretty extensive conversation about some of the things that you guys want to budget.
Another thing was the medical building where the water leak was, is the insurance paid off on that yet?
I let them know, yeah.
Okay, we need to get that.
Yeah, the funds from this have been deposited, so our guys can get what they need on that PO.
I'm not sure we got, guys can fix that.
Well, they'll need to let us know.
So we, so we might need.
Plan for something
We might need
else.
to go out to bids to repair that too.
Yeah, they need to let us know, but the money is there.
Yeah, okay. That's all I had.
Okay. That being said, is there a motion to move into executive session? Motion. I said to adjourn. Can't do that. Motion by Miles to go into executive session, second by Tony. Roll council, please.
That's Holtz, Martin, yes, Copley.